Emotions are a treasured yet dreaded topic among humans. They are a primary influencer in our relationships, long and short-term decisions, and our day-to-day life. Many people, however, treat it as a controllable concept that can be suppressed or triggered at will. Our emotions, in actuality, involve the release and inhibition of chemicals within our brain, which trigger bodily reactions. These reactions can sometimes speak louder than words when it comes to our feelings. Happiness, sadness, fear, love, and so on seem like such humane topics to a majority of the population, when, in reality, it's purely scientific. In order to fully begin to understand the scientific meaning behind our feelings, we must first explore the history behind the study of emotions. Emotions have been a popular topic of study since the late 1800s. One of the first documented case studies of emotions was The Expression of the Emotions in Men and Animals, which was a novel written by Charles Darwin. Within this work, he stated that some expressions and emotions are innate and universal. He theorized that these were felt by Homo sapiens, which are considered to be early ancestors of humans. In the early 1900s, Darwin's theory on human emotions became very popular within neurobiology and in those who studied infants. Infants, while displaying very little emotion, did show signs of these innate emotions that Darwin had mentioned. For example, if a baby were to see something that made them happy, such as their mother or something visually stimulating, they would laugh or smile. If they felt threatened or ignored, they'd cry. The number of universal expressions and emotions remains controversial, but many modern-day scientists agree that there are 4 categories in which many emotions fall under: happiness, sadness, fear, and anger. So where do our feelings begin? Emotions stem from the control center of our bodies, the brain. The release and inhibition of certain chemicals within the brain can trigger certain physiological responses associated with emotions. A neurotransmitter is a chemical substance that is transferred from nerve to nerve and plays a major role in mood and emotions. Neurotransmitters move through neurons called synapses, which are in the nervous system. Releases of hormones from the synapses often trigger physiological responses such as increased heart rate, increased perspiration, blood rushing to the face, etc. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter that is often associated with positive emotions, such as focus, drive, attention, and so on. Serotonin is another major neurotransmitter that is considered an emotional regulator. It is often associated with feelings of arousal, aggression, impulse, and anxiety. Within the nervous system, there are 2 major areas associated with emotions. The frontal cortex, which is located in the frontal lobes of the brain, is often associated with positive emotions, such as happiness and pleasure. The amygdala, which is a pea-sized portion of the brain also located near the frontal lobes, is often associated with feelings of anger, sadness, and fear. From the moment we are born to the time we pass, we experience endless variations of emotions. While some emotions are pre-programmed, some emotions are learned through our environment. Within our lifetimes, we observe emotional behaviors and expressions through those around us. An example of this is what many people may call hereditary fears. For example, if a mother is afraid of spiders and jumps, screams, or runs whenever she sees a spider, her younger child may mimic this behavior, in which whenever they see a spider, they may jump, scream, or run. Most modern-day scientists theorize that all emotions are variants of the 4 universal emotions, which again are anger, fear, sadness, and happiness. For example, rage stems from anger, ecstasy stems from happiness, terror stems from fear, and sorrow stems from sadness. It is the level in which we feel these emotions that subcategorize them under these universal emotions. Humans have a tendency to be very reflective and judgmental, and this often triggers these secondary emotions, which in most scenarios we wouldn't feel or wouldn't be activated. Love is a prominent example of this. As a subcategory of happiness, love is often associated with infatuation and ecstasy. However, under certain circumstances, it can also cause sorrow or grief. It is in our nature to feel, so why suppress it? Our emotions are what makes us human. However, when observed, they are merely the result of hormones within our body that trigger physiological responses. Emotions, both innate and learned, are a part of us. We learn to react to certain situations through observation, and through this, our brain releases hormones when it sees fit. Embrace your emotions, embrace your humanity. Life is all about experience, and experience is nothing without emotions.